Alright, we're back again. So this time, we're going to continue a little bit more on the right Sheil, but we're going to go back to some point forward guards that shows why the right Sheil can become kind of a little bit more effective, right? Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, it's work, overs. To me, there's range issues for all of these, right? So what we're going to work with is from left Pflug, left Ochs. You're thrusting in, they displace right Sheil, boom, displace right Sheil, right? This is much more meant for when you're coming in and the person's on that same side and you're doing that threat and they're just doing reactionaries, right? The cutoffs and that whole process is a very entertaining moment. So it is something we have to work around. Obviously, well, what did they crump at you? So I currently have about a 7 out of 10 times where I can make this still work, but that's because I do it a lot or I train it. So if I'm coming in and for whatever reason they crump at it, or if they try to Sheil and you dump, depending on if they Sheil right or horribly wrong, because that is a thing these days. Boom, dump, right Sheil, right? The Ochs is obvious, they're going to crump at you. Oh, let it sit, boom. I do find the Ochs to right Sheil is a lot more effective for somebody that's crumping at your blade, not necessarily over at your shoulder. So, note that. So we're going to work these two sides. We have already done like the right Pflug, you know, bent in, boom, you're launching, oh they knocked, you come across and do it in that fashion. We've done that one. Should have at the time probably realized to do the others, but we'll do it in this fashion. You can also do it from the right Ochs when you thrust it into long point and they've knocked it off, and then do it. I just find it's much more of a range, so that can work if they knock away and they take a step back and you're going for the strike, but at the same time, yeah, if they knock you from Langord, or if you can just Durst Fexel. So it's kind of a alternate means if you want to include it just to have all four, like do it. But if you're going to be coming out from here, long reach, knock, then doing it. Okay? We'll focus on these two. So the first one we're going to start from is Pflug, just because it's simple and easy. You're going to be making your thrust action without your step yet. So you're thrusting in to read it, and as they go to connect, come out from the right Sheil. And boom, right? So on the notion of doing this, we're going to use Meyer's transverse step, or how I like to consider the transverse, where you're coming forward and they can go out. So everything's falling over there. So as you're thrusting, okay. Also too, if they do get it and you have a hard parry and you can ride it, you're now declaring from it. Oh, it's like all the shit matches. Alright, so let's go through the first phases of this real fast. We're going to start in our Pflug, left Pflug, at a reach where just our arms work. And we're going to thrust. You want to do this about 10 times just to feel comfortable, right? Move a little bit further back, I'll probably be a bit off screen. Arms, thrust with the step. And then, now we'll do it to right before we make contact. We'll let it fly off and come to the right Sheil, okay? So on this one, thrusting. Okay. You can get a partner to do it with you. Even better. So, a little bit easy, kind of simple there. Now we will go on to the Ochs, which is a little bit more of a hip swinger to me. Because you're in Ochs, you're thrusting to, and you gotta step out and then make sure you get that compass, right? So you're coming in, boom. So you're pretty much in an essence going from left to right Ochs is how that should go. Boom, thrusting out at them, they knock, boom. I'm in Ochs, because for whatever reason I'm camping like an ass, or I'm just like, hey, they don't know what to do here, so I'm going to sit here for a second. oh, they're crumping, oh shit. Okay? It's not necessarily always about the targeting of getting the head. The arms also work, especially if they are crumping in this fashion, where it's more to the side and not out at that angle. If they're crumping like such, when you come back around, that forearm is a nice, wonderful target. Boom. Once you have it, you can then thrust in, as you've seen what we've done earlier, thrusting at the pellet. So, let's go over the Ochs one real quick. Again, 10 of each of all these. We're going to, I'll do this in the video this way here. We're going to make sure that we're going to pop down our knees. We're going to have an open tight footwear position. Boom, boom, squared up with chest, whether I want to be high, low. I personally find it, you want to have it here at the head, not because of a defensive measure, but because I want that thrust threat, right? And if it does work, great. Distance-wise, you should be Sufectin, borderline Krieg area, right? That way, you're presenting that threat that gives them that notion. So you're right at that Krieg point, right? Thrust. So you're turning the hips into the notion to come, which will set you up for that step off. Boom, they knock it off. Step and compass. Okay, so we will go into left ox at our pel. Okay, we're just going to do arms at first, not even twisting the torso, just to feel this. You'll also find that your aim gets harder to line up. Now we're going to be here, we're going to engage the hip. Ah, so tired. And then we start making the cuts, right? Be here, threat, they knock, cut. Be here, threat, knock, cut. Oh, one more on that. So again, be a little bit further back, thrust, hang, cut. All right, so 10 of each. So again, it's much more for you being on the offensive in this fashion of doing it, because if I want to lure somebody to strike at me, I'd sit in right sides. Give an open door. Hey, look at this big target. Come get me. Over here, you want to fight with it? Come on. Yeah, if you're in Pflug, possible Sheils, crumps, Ochs, we all know what they're wanting to do. All right, so you're presenting that threat and then working. So, hope that helps. More coming.